welcome back, to Matcha ASMR, and a very spooky, scary, happy Halloween to you all. Because Halloween is objectively the best holiday of the year, and because it is gay Christmas, we are going to be reading some spooky ghost stories to celebrate this fine Hallows Eve. I pulled up a couple stories on Reddit, so let's go ahead and get into some scary shit. This first one comes from the r/ask Reddit thread, and it reads, "People of Reddit who work in haunted hotels, what are your stories?" And this first story comes from user pavement nailed. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I worked in IT for a guy named Mike Milken, and every year he puts on this huge conference that brings world leaders and billionaires together for a conferencing called Global Conference. I don't know what that was. Play a ghost. And he put a link for the conference. We would rent out pretty much all of the Beverly Hilton for a full 7 days. You can go to this if you like. It just costs thousands of dollars to do so. Thousands of dollars to attend one singular event is so dystopian. We live in the fucking Hunger Games. But that's also basically the Met Gala, so. But the Met Gala outfits are like cute to look at sometimes, but it's like, again, Hunger Games. I, like OP, also am interested in hotel staff and hauntings, so I asked every staff member I could about any otherworldly experiences. I don't know what OP means. Also, I don't really use Reddit, so if I'm not using the Reddit language correctly, that's why. I heard a couple of people talk about Merv Griffin, the game show creator/host/composer. He bought the place in the 80s and loved to hang out there after he retired. After he died, the staff said that they would see him, not as a ghostly shape, but as actual Merv, walking down one of the hallways near the kitchens occasionally. Ultimately, though, the cleaning staff was terrified of the 8th floor. It's not a tall hotel, and the 8th floor was a party-type room. It was a medium-sized banquet-type area with a low ceiling. It has a bathroom and a view of Beverly Hills with rounded red leather couches and maroon velour-sided walls. There is a curved bar and glass tables with razor blade marks on them from the copious amounts of cocaine. I don't know if I can say that had been chopped up for consumption. I know you see this room in your head skull right now. What is a head skull? Just tell me I see it in my brain. What is a head skull? My head is the skull. Dingus. Sorry, I'm being mean. Also, my costume, that is not a costume, it is a costume. I am one of the Twitch's sisters, because I'm the moon, and if you've not seen Twitch's, oh my god, you are missing out on everything that is good and amazing in your life. I recommend you go watch it on Disney Plus. Well, I think you can find it somewhere else, I'm sure, but that's where I know you can't find it for sure. Excuse me. Okay. Anyways, the story goes that there was a lady that would go up there and clean a place by herself after the parties were over. One night, she was almost done and finishing up the bathrooms, cleaning the sinks. She heard a girl behind her, then something brush across her shoulder. She turned quickly around, and no one was there. She turned back to the sink, and there was a piece of gum where there had previously been none. She swore there was no gum in the sink prior. She was cleaning the sink when it happened, so that was her focus. After that, the cleaning staff would not go up there unless they had to at night, and then they would go in doubles. They also started to clean the floor in the morning, again with 2 people. My buddy/coworker and I had to go up and check this out. We were getting chills listening to the story and had to see for ourselves. So at about 9 p.m., we went up there, as it was vacant for the night, and we pretty much had run of the hotel. Right before we went up, though, we saw one of the cleaning staff and told him we were going up, and he got this look like, in quotes, "You're an idiot." We head up, check the whole room out, and take it in like I described above. We go over to the little bathroom where the gum incident happened, and we recreated the scene. I don't understand why would you, like, what do you mean? Maybe he explains it, and I'm just like, I just need to shut the fuck up and let him say it. I stood at the sink, my buddy brushed my shoulder, and I turned around. Nothing, absolutely nothing at all. We didn't feel coldness or freakiness, just plain old us on the top floor. Well, yeah, because the ghost probably isn't there yet, and also why are you recreating it to see if you can feel the coldness, because the cold you would only feel if the ghost was there. That makes no sense. We were a bit disappointed, and were saying things like, what did we even expect, type conversation. We noticed the weird music on the speaker in the elevator that we hadn't noticed coming up. It was a girl kind of singing / laughing, very eclectic stuff. When we got off, we saw the cleaning dude from earlier and told him that we saw nothing. There was no ghost up there. Then my buddy mentioned the interesting choice of music in the elevator. The cleaning guy said, "What music?" And we replied, "The music in the elevator." He then pointed out that there is no speaker in the elevators. Never has been. Elevator, singular, not plural. We shit our pants, went back into the elevator cautiously because we couldn't believe that what we were hearing was not coming from a speaker. Being IT experts, we knew how to look for wires and speaker covers and such, and there were none. It was an old elevator that just wasn't wired for that. We noped the fuck out of that elevator and tried to avoid it the rest of the time we worked there. TLDR, we went hunting for a ghost and found one. I don't know what TLDR means, but that is very spooky and scary. I think hearing things like the sounds and noises freak me out the most. So like, if you're not seeing a ghost, I feel like hearing the ghost is even scarier, because with the ghost, they're not like a physical form, not like in the way like in our, like, nothing that makes sense, but only humans can make sound. And so it's like, I don't know, what I'm saying, like, I don't think makes sense, but it's like, I would absolutely shit my pants, but also I get scared so easily. Fun fact, I was a scare actor last year. I would love to continue doing it, but I haven't gotten around to it. But I love scaring people, and I can be in haunted houses, and I love to scare people in haunted houses, but I can never go to a haunted house because I just can't do it. Like, sometimes when I would go to the bathroom on my break, or just when I needed to go, which was a bitch because I was wearing a big giant like 1800s dress, when I would go back through the maze, I would like get freaked out, because like I would go back through the part of the maze that I wasn't working, and like I got scared, and it probably looks so stupid because like I'm the scary looking one because I'm in like my makeup and my costume and everything, and I'm like all scared of the other people that look like me. But that is a very scary, spooky, maybe not scary, but very spooky story. That reminds me of like, oh my gosh, I love Sam and Colby. I haven't watched their videos lately. I think I need to, but not only do I love Sam and Colby, but I love the Sternilla triplets. I love them so much. They're so funny, and like every time I watch their videos, if I'm feeling like shit or I feel sad, I feel so much better, because there's just some YouTubers where like you watch them and you feel like you're hanging out with them and it makes you feel better, and it's like you're hanging out with friends, which sounds like lonely and depressing as fuck, but I am not lonely but depressed as fuck, so like what did you expect? But they did a collab, which is like my favorite thing ever. I love Sam and Colby because I love like ghost shows and paranormal, even though I don't want any of that shit in my area, in my room. I love that type of stuff because my dad, it's nostalgic for me, because whenever I'd go like see my dad, I live in the same house. My parents are not divorced, and my dad's not passed away, but sometimes I feel like when they talk about him, it sounds like he did not pass away. He's alive, he's cool. But he would watch like spooky like ghost hunting shows, and like when I would go to like talk to him or whatever, sometimes I'd just stand there and like watch it, and it's like, this is actually kind of cool. But he was always watching ghost stories, so it reminds me very much, like, it's very nostalgic for me having like ghost shows and stuff. So Sam and Colby, they are a ghost show, and it's like, but they still give like humor and personality to it, because I have also of course known about Sam McColby since Vine. Like, I've always loved Sam McColby, but like they give a good amount of personality to it, to where it's not so much documentary style, but to where it's like a fun like adventure, even though it's not fun, it's scary. But that's just a rant of why I love Sam McColby. But Sam McColby and the Stornielos did a collab, which like one of my favorite things ever. And I have a rewatch worthy playlist on YouTube, like YouTube videos I rewatch, and that's one of them. But they were in a haunted hotel, and I forget like where this haunted hotel was. There is a haunted hotel called the Manger Hotel that I have been to. I didn't stay there, but I've been there because it's in my hometown. But they were in this spooky hotel, I forgot what it was called, and the lady who works there, she was talking about, there's a little girl ghost who lives there, and the kitchen staff, or I don't know what staff, they were working at night, and they were playing lo-fi music on their iPad. The iPad was connected to a speaker or something, and for some reason it kept skipping to Baby Shark, and it kept playing Baby Shark, and I thought that was so funny and silly, because like she's just a Baby Shark girl, like she just loves Baby Shark. But it reminded me of that. And if you haven't watched that video, I absolutely recommend you go watch all of the Storniolo and Sam McColby collabs. I haven't finished the 4-hour one yet, because that one is crazy. Not the craziest scary, but just like 4 hours insane. Anyways, that's just a bit of a tangent of ghost stories. Okay, but we'll go ahead and get on to the next story. This next one is a shorter one. It's under, again, the r/ask Reddit thread, and it says, what is your best ghost/paranormal experience story? And this is by user NJW_90. This is my brother's story, but it's a good one. He was working as a night porter at an old hotel from the 18th century in the northern English countryside. One night, a woman came down to reception as white as a sheet with her suitcase, saying she could not sleep and did not want to stay there. My brother inquired as to why. She said she could hear children laughing all night, and a child had entered her room with a candle and was standing at the foot of the bed and wouldn't leave. My brother mentioned it to his manager the following morning. This fucking guy. And he was told that it is a regular occurrence before the hotel. I do apologize for that stupid annoying man, because of course it's a man. My brother mentioned it to his manager the following morning, and he was told that it is a regular occurrence. Ridiculous. Before the hotel was a hotel, it used to be used as a school and kindergarten over 100 years ago. No, I don't fuck with that one bit. No, one thing I cannot do. I was gonna say one thing I cannot do is children ghost, but I can't do any ghosts. Let's be fucking for real. I don't know what would be scarier though, like seeing a child ghost or an adult ghost, because adult ghosts can be tall and scary. Oh my gosh, I hear my roommates. Adult ghosts can be like a tall, ominous figure. Big things can be scary, but also I think that little things can be just as scary, if not more scary. Because think about it, like, at least, I mean, maybe it's different for everyone, because like with little things, like, oh, it's like bugs. That doesn't make sense, but it does. Oh my god, everyone is like, but yeah, like with little things, they can run after you, and like they can crawl on you. Like it's hard to, it's like a bug. Like when there's a bug on you, it's like you could like, you know. And I feel like that's the vibes that they give off. But big scary things are kind of just like move very like ominously, and like obviously they can just crush you. But like for example, Chucky, I have an irrational fear of Chucky, and whenever I mention it to people, they're like, why? Like he's a doll, like you can just punt him across the room, and like yes, But also, I don't think you can. People tried and like he killed people. I've never seen the movie, and I will never, because again, I have an irrational fear of Chucky, and I would sleep with my door open. Or no. I would sleep with it closed, and I do sleep with it closed because who sleeps with the door open? That's kind of crazy. But the reason specifically as to why I insisted on having my door closed was because I had this vision of like, I was like, what if Chucky, because my dresser kind of blocked the bottom half of my door from my view, what if Chucky ran into my room while I was sleeping and I didn't see him run in, and he just pops up right next to me and then kills me? Obviously that's not going to happen, but just the thought of that made me so petrified. I'm like, the thought of that scares the shit out of me, and it's too much for me to envision, so I have to keep my door closed, which is ridiculous. But also, it's something to do with like his face and the way he moves. I have autotomnophobia, which means I'm like scared of animatronics. So FNAF, quite literally my worst nightmare. But I am gonna be Foxy for Halloween. And a Silent Hill nurse. I'm very excited about that. And maybe something else, I don't know. But things that are uncanny valley, like animatronics or mannequins or like Chucky type shit, that scares me the most. It's just like things that are trying to imitate human life but aren't human life. It's like scary and it freaks me out so bad. And I feel like that's what Chucky gives. Anyway, that's just my rant of how I have an irrational fear of the Chucky doll. But children ghosts, like, oh my god, I feel like that's more scary than adult ghosts, but that's just me. Let me know what you think on that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on that. If children ghosts are scarier than adult ghosts, because, and I'm gonna say it, fuck them kids, right? Anyways, let's move on to our next story. This one is under the same thread, and it's by user ArcherOK6223. Not a ghost story or paranormal, but a true experience. Okay, so this isn't the title, but we're just gonna add this one in there. Many years ago, I was working at a shop, and an old lady had purchased several bags of shopping. What the hell does that mean? It was a little icy outside, and I knew the lady lived less than 100 yards away from the shop, so I offered to take her shopping home for her. She was shocked that I would offer, and ever so grateful. On the way to her house, she kept saying thank you to me. I told her it was no problem and I was happy to help. She said she wished more people like me were helpful, etc., etc. Also, I don't know why it's two etceteras and why people say that. Like, it's supposed to just be one. Like, etc. It's just like, etc. You know, why is there two? As we reached the door, she opened it and stepped away so I could enter. I told her that I was okay holding the bags and she should go in the house and get out the cold. She thanked me again and stepped into the doorway and took a few steps down the hall. Oh my gosh, I want to rewatch The Hauntings, like of Bly Manor and The Haunting of Hill House. I'm gonna do that after this video. I just had that sudden urge. Okay, sorry, I had to get that out of my system. I walked in behind her and put the shopping bags on the floor. I asked her if she wanted me to help her put things away, and she insisted I had done enough and thanked me again and again. I stepped outside and turned round to say bye to her. As she was closing the door, she said, "Thank you, young man. I will watch over your soul from heaven." A few days later, she was found dead in her home in the hallway next to a few bags of slowly rotting shopping. That is spooky. Oh my gosh. I have my own ghost story and I just remembered it. This reminded me of it. Oh my gosh. It's so crazy how some people know they're gonna die and they're right. That's so crazy. But speaking of, my mom told me about this story. It has to do with, and now it's a relative of my mom's story. So it's my mom's relative's story, which is what I just said. And it had to do with, I don't know if it had to do with because, you know, the graveyards in New Orleans are very haunted, and there's a lot of, you know, they do ghost tours and whatever. My mom's relative, probably cousin, because there's a shit ton of them because we're Mexican, so there's a billion. She was at a graveyard, and I don't know why she was there. I think she was doing she must have been doing a ghost tour, I think. I don't know. She was at this graveyard for some reason, and this old woman comes up to her, and my mom said she had like white eyes, but I don't remember. I don't know if I'm just making that up or if that's something she actually told me, but the old woman came up to my mom's relative, and she was like, the person you are looking for is not here yet. Obviously it freaked her out. She was like, what do you mean? And I think the lady just left after that. Completely random woman, never seen her before in her life, just came up to her. They weren't already talking. She just came up to her and said that. And then apparently about 2 weeks later, that relative's brother or cousin, someone close to them, ended up falling ill and passing away suddenly and tragically. So then, this was after the lady said that, and so it was true. That person that she was looking for wasn't there yet, but they were about to be there. And I just think that's so crazy, because my mom wouldn't lie to me about that, and I don't think her relative would lie about that either. But it's just like, if that happened to me, like, because what spirit was in that woman? Because obviously a spirit channeled that woman to give that message. Who was that? That's so terrifying. Another one is my aunt and uncle. Also had to do with the New Orleans graveyard ghost story. They were doing a ghost tour, and they took a Polaroid while they were on the ghost tour, and when the Polaroid developed, they saw like a really weird white smudge in the background, but there was no one behind them. Ghost. It was a ghost. They got a ghost in their Polaroid, and I think I saw the Polaroid picture, and I think like I saw the white smudge, but it was a long time ago, so I don't remember what it looked like. But lots of spooky things, and our family's not particularly psychic's not the word, it's sensitive, not particularly sensitive, also because my family's religious, not like hardcore to where I have religious trauma, but she told me about but yeah, they're religious, so they're not like, my mom doesn't like that stuff, but apparently they have prophetic dreams, whatever. She didn't really elaborate on that, but I had very lucid dreams, and my mom was like, oh yeah, you get that from me and your grandma. I'm like, girl, we're witches, like, why didn't you tell me that? I didn't tell her that because she'd be like, she didn't fuck with that, but she told me that there was one time where she was driving, and she was at a stop, or she was about to, I don't know if she was about to pass the stop sign or she was already stopped and she was gonna go. I think that's what it was, but she was about to press the gas, but like something pulled her car and like made it stop. Like someone was pushing on her car. She didn't put her foot on the brake, but something like jolted her car and stopped it. And right as that happened, a car whoosh, went right, like this is her car. A car went and just kept going, and it was really fast. So if my mom would have gone, she could have died, or like gotten in a really bad car accident, been severely injured, and then I wouldn't be here. That is so freaking insane to me, because I know it was before I was born. I remember she told me that, but she doesn't know what it was. She was just like, it just felt like someone just like something stopped my car. But we got spirits on our side. We do. But yeah, so those are some of my own personal ghost stories. We do have one more ghost story that I'm gonna read. This one's a bit of a longer one. And it also, if you guys have ghost stories of your own, or if you have any other like stories, crazy stories, any type of story you want me to like read for a YouTube video or an ASMR YouTube video, please feel free, leave it in the comments below, and I will happily convey your story to my 13 subscribers. Well, now 14. This comes from the r/ghost stories thread, and the title is "It's spooky season. Give me a real life experience that scared the shit out of you." And this is from user prior_perception_166. I have several, but growing up, my dad's house was haunted and still to this day freaks me out. So I was maybe 16 or 17, and I had stayed at my aunt's house, dad's sister, and she lives like 2 doors down from my dad's. Well, her grandchildren, my cousins, decided to have a sleepover at her house. The next morning, I get up and it's dreary outside. That would be a cute name, dreary, but also it's kind of like rural, like it's a hard word. But it's also winter, and I look at my oldest cousin and tell him I'm going to walk to the house and change my clothes so we can go outside and do whatever. We usually played ball in the graveyard across the road, lol. He says okay, and I head to the house. As I get to the driveway, I see someone standing in front of the balcony doors inside the house, and then I stop walking because no one is home. My dad and stepmom were both at work, so then the person disappears like they just stepped back to where I couldn't see them anymore. I remember the person was the shape of a woman who had on this long white gown and dark hair, so now my anxiety is through the roof. I see someone standing in front of the balcony doors inside. That's scary. Sorry, I had sometimes when you read, you don't process what you're reading and then you have to go back. I see my cousins start to head my way, and I keep walking towards the house because I thought by the time I get the door unlocked, he'll be here and it will all be good. Psych. We had a golden retriever outside, and when I opened the door, I called for her to come inside with me. But once she got to the door, she tucked her tail between her legs and wouldn't go any further. So that freaked me out. I grabbed her by her collar to try and gently tug her and tell her to come in the house, that it's cold. She fought me and eventually ran down the stairs. My cousin is at the end of the driveway and yells for me to hurry up, and I'm tempted to just say fuck it and stay in my pajamas. But I leave the door open and run to my room thinking if the door is open I'm good. So I run through the kitchen into the dining room, living room, and then the hallway to my room on the far right. I could have just went through the kitchen and then to my room. Sorry, this is written awful. Sorry, no offense to the person. But the den always creeps me out. So I got to my room and strip off my pajamas as fast as I can and put on some jeans and grab a long sleeve shirt. As I'm putting the shirt on, I hear running down the hallways with loud footsteps coming towards me, and I go to scream, but nothing will come out. So I go running out of my room and back the way I came, and have my shirt halfway on by the time I run outside. My cousin is now under the carport and asks me, "What's wrong?" I tell him something is in my house, and he's like, "What do you mean?" So I finish getting my shirt on and go to turn around to close the door and freeze. He asks what's wrong. I point to the kitchen window, which is beside the door, and through the kitchen window you see not only the kitchen but the den too. The den light was on. I look back at him and tell him I didn't turn it on because I never go through there. So he starts getting freaked out and he stands beside me on the step. The running came again towards us and he clears the steps. So I'm standing there feeling like I'm frozen and not being able to move. I remember him telling me to come on, and I tell him that I have to turn off that light because my stepmom will literally cuss me out. She was abusive. Oh, that's sad. So I run inside and have him watch me as I go to hit the light switch. I see a dark figure on the wall in front of me, and then it disappears. I run out of the house and slam the door. I tried to tell my stepmom, but she thought I was crazy, and none of that stuff was real. Still, to this day, hearing running in horror movies from ghosts where it's loud and stuff causes the hair on my body to stand up. Now that is actually very, 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 very spooky and scary. I was gonna say probably La Llorona, but also I know that you're not supposed to say that out loud, but I also only said it one time, so I think it's okay. Yeah, I would actually just run out of the house and never go back in that damn house again. I don't know how people, it's like, well, obviously sometimes you don't have a choice, but it's like, I don't know how you can live in a house knowing it's haunted and not just leave. Cause like, girl, get out. What are you doing? Like, but I get it. I mean, obviously if you pay rent, or it's not that easy to just leave the house, but it's like, I would not be able to sleep if that happened. But anyways, well, I think that is all the stories I have for tonight. Oh, actually, not a story, but my then boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, he told me about his grandma's house was haunted, and one time he was using the restroom, and the toilet paper roll just kept going and going, and it just started like rolling and rolling on the thing, like by itself. I don't know how much toilet paper was left on it, but it just started going, which is scary. But anyways, I am going to finish my witch's brew, which is peach and passion fruit sweet tea. Oh, it's so late. I have to go do what I need to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed these spooky, scary skeletons shivering down your spine. I'm sorry if I had to. I hope you guys enjoyed these Reddit paranormal stories. Even though I don't know how to read, but also these are like comments and not like books, so people make mistakes, and that's okay. But yeah, let me know if there's any subreddits that you want me to dive into. If you have any stories yourself, please let me know in the comments. But for now, I bid you all a fair Hallows Eve. I bid you all a spooky Hallows Eve. And happy Halloween. Good night.